When we're talking about the key use cases of generative AI for content production specifically, we are talking about 3 buckets. We have the create bucket, and that's the generative in generative AI. This is what y'all are familiar with seeing with ChatGPT. Go ahead, I'm going to give you a prompt, I want you to spit it out. Spit out something new. It's because they're taking patterns and they are using their language model brilliance to complete those patterns. Then we have the analyze bucket. This is where the intelligence, artificial intelligence, comes into play. We are taking a vast amount of data, and it is filtering through and surfacing and synthesizing information, insights. They're summarizing things. We'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like. And then we have the govern use case, which, again, because they are brilliant at pattern recognition, they're also really good at picking out what doesn't belong. And that means that they can enforce rules when it comes to brand, when it comes to terminology, when it comes to regulatory compliance. Now, what that means for marketing teams that we've seen over these years is that we have people who are working better together. We're having people, instead of taking a lot of time onboarding writers and non-writers, you've got this little editorial angel on their shoulder, guiding them toward that ideal state of content. We also have the less cognitive drain matter. I don't know if you saw the keynote, but Andrew talked extensively about basically his second brain, right? I also want to say that this is especially relevant for people who are neurodivergent. We experience, and I'm one of them, a lot of cognitive exhaustion quickly, and having a second brain to kind of offload a lot of that cognitive load is incredibly accommodating. We also have streamlined production workflows. Things are passed off a lot easier when you can complete a certain level of that process and pass it to the next person, the next stakeholder. And then there's more time and resources for the craft of content creation. This is where your imagination and you're not dealing with the foundational commodity work, because you're able to bring more of your creativity to the work. We also have accelerated content, bringing it faster to market. We have more data-driven ideation, because you're using that intelligence to surface insights a lot faster. You're also getting to that messy first draft a lot faster. And let me just put a caveat here. I do not envision AI as a final state, right? It does not, I don't want it to get me to the final state, because I think, and the people at Writer also think, that a human should always be in the driver's seat and should always be the arbiter of excellence and quality when it comes to that final draft. So I call it, let's get to that messy first draft and work from there. You're also spending a lot less time on micro-writing tasks, the derivative content, the metadata, the little social promos for blog posts. It's happening automatically. And then because it's happening automatically, that means you're getting it distributed faster, and it means that you're able to repurpose your content faster. We also, because of that governing use case, you're able to spend less time in editing. You're getting faster approvals from your, let's say, compliance officers or legal team or editorial team. And then you have, with certain platforms, a more consistent measure of brand and voice across your messaging, no matter who's writing it, whether they're in sales or in your tech team. Everybody is getting, again, that editorial angel on their shoulder, guiding them toward your messaging.